unite like the healing rays. 420 patients, we stand as one. Safe access for everyone. Oh, we rise up, lifted higher. Medicine fueled by love and fire. Together we blaze, together we laugh. Patients for safe access. That's
The following production has been brought to you by the Hippie Broadcasting Network, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records. Now, here's your host, Summer Parker.
Hi, you guys. First, we're going to start by saying, of course, thank you for joining us again for one of our podcast shows here at Patients for Safe Access on WTHC Radio, the Hippie Broadcasting Network. So, love to the hippie, right? Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I know there's going to be lots of people that are going to be out on Valentine's dates and things like that this evening. That's okay, hippie. That's all right. Okay. Hey, Charlie.
Yes, ma'am.
Our plan we were going to do just a minute ago, we need to do. Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. We're having some technical difficulties this evening, and my Facebook is not linking up to this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live on Facebook as well from here while I'm recording this episode. So just give me 1 second, guys. All right. Let's go.
We can't have technical difficulty while I'm smoking a joint. This is not acceptable.
Can you go out that way with it
Yes,
just
ma'am.
a little bit? Okay. And then that should, like,
Let's see if it fixes it.
yeah, you can't go up at all, though.
Okay.
So, okay. We're going to make this work. Give me just a minute, guys. I promise. Okay. Hang on. Let's see.
Does that get your good
All
side?
right, let me start this over. We're going to go like old school does. 3, 2, 1. We're live. Well, we've been live for a minute. So, happy Valentine's Day. Like I was saying, there are going to be lots of people that are out this evening. They're, on a date night with their loved one. And so they're probably not going to catch this show live, and that's okay. However, you're here with me. So that's all I need, right? Let's see. One love from your Oklahomies, Charlie says. Hey, babe,
Yes, ma'am.
will you go ahead and come back in and kind of move it in front of the table for me, please?
Sure.
So, guys, tonight's episode is going to be probably comical, entertaining, irritating. You could probably name a few emotions that it will be tonight. We are going to be talking a lot about the OMMA, which you guys have heard me talk about them before on my show. OMMA is the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority for the state of Oklahoma. They're the regulatory agency that is in charge of regulating our medical marijuana program. They're in charge of keeping patients safe. They're in charge of a lot of stuff, including a lot of freaking money. So, January of this year, I got really sick. I was in the hospital a couple times. I kind of got behind on things in regards to keeping up with what I normally update the public about and what we, post online and all of that type of stuff. And so when I got out of the hospital, I got caught up, I thought, and I had posted several companies that had summary suspensions or embargoes, even possibly a recall. There was one recall for sure during that time frame, right? And so I thought I had gotten caught up. That was about, I want to say maybe the 20th or so of January, 21st of January, maybe a little bit later. But anyways, right there in that last week or so of January. And there's been some changes at the agency that we are going to talk about that I think are why we're having the issue that we're having that I've been posting about the last 24 hours. So if you're not familiar with my page, go follow me on Facebook, please. Summer Parker. Also on Instagram and TikTok. It's Summer Parker Dabbing Nana 78 on all platforms. but you will be able to see exactly the data that I am posting and what we're going to be discussing here tonight. And these are like serious issues that the agency has. We talk often about transparency with the regulatory agency and why transparency is so freaking important. And I promise you, I'm not going to be able to contain every cuss word. But anyways, we'll just go with that for right now. Why it's so important for them to be transparent. We've talked in the past about how they've restricted our access to recording in their courtrooms, whether it be a video recording, an audio recording, or even having your cell phone in the building with you. Okay. You now have to leave your phone in your car, or you have to leave it in their lobby. Yeah, right. Like I'm going to leave my electronic device in your lobby. That's cute. But anyways, they've restricted our access, right? And we yell and we scream and we bitch and we get mad, and we have been to the governor's office. We've been to senators' offices. We've been to representatives' offices talking about the fact that they're restricting our access. And even taking documentation, these executive orders that Director Berry has put out there, limiting our ability to record and document history as it happens, even restricting the access to have a client have the right to have someone record their case for them. Okay? Like, this is ridiculous. But transparency has it's been something. We've been driving, okay? So, the other day, I'm on the OMMA's website, and I'm just kind of diddling around, and they have like an administrative options tab on there. I think it's administrative actions is what it says on there. But I found a new link. As you know, some of you, if you're following me and Anthony Smith both, you know that we often post the administrative court docket for the cases that are upcoming for the upcoming week. Okay. And we do that because, patients have the right to know. Businesses also need to know, who's having these proceedings and why they're having these proceedings. So we post the court docket all the time, and it's on the same link where the court docket is at. And it does say administrative actions on that part of it. And so yesterday was whenever I first found this link. They don't tell you, hey, we got something new to show you, or hey, you can find this information here now. No, that would be too easy, right? Don't give them what they need. Don't make it easy. Let's just make it hard. And when you stumble upon it, I guess that's when you see it, right? That's what happened here. Okay. So we're at what? February 14th, Cupid's Love Day. And when I went onto this tab yesterday, the last time that the OMMA has put any type of information on their Facebook page or anything else, okay, besides their website, normally they post when they take an action of embargo and summary suspension against a licensee, all right? They do post that. They put it out there on Facebook. If you go look at their Facebook, guys, guess what? The last time anything was posted was January the 29th in regards to licensee administrative actions. And why is that date important? It's not an important date, but it's important because that's the day that transparency stopped. Mark it in your calendars, guys. January 29th. Hey, good evening, old school. January 29th. Why? What changed? Let me tell you that between January 1st and January 29th, that there were 9 licensees that had administrative actions taken on their license. Okay. All of those were posted by the agency, shared out. The patients received an email on it, okay, and everything. But yet, since January 29th, there have been 14 more cases filed. 14 more licensees that have had administrative actions taken against their license. Some of these for plant tags, some of these for inventory issues. Some of these specifically state that they are being shut down on summary suspension and embargo because of a risk of the public's health and safety. So tell me why we didn't get a single damned email about any of these 14 licensee actions. Some that could be affecting our health. Okay? Tell me why. Tell me why they didn't post this stuff. Tell me why. I am pissed. I am pissed beyond belief. We have over 300,000 consumers of medical marijuana in the state of Oklahoma alone. Okay? That is how many patient card licenses we have. Over 300,000. That is 300,000 people's lives that you are playing fuck games with. It's my life. It's your life. It's my kid's life. It's my old man's life. It's my best friend's life. Y'all playing games. Y'all think this agency's got jokes, y'all. Like, I tried. I really did try. And I know that whenever this podcast ends tonight and somebody sends it to a specific person in the agency, that I'm going to get a call tomorrow or maybe Monday about how I'm so wrong, you know, and how they want to set the story straight. But how can you be wrong when you can find the data yourself on y'all's damn website, on y'all's Facebook page? Your agency's a joke, guys. And this is probably why. Some of this is probably why. The agency being a joke is probably why our governor wants to repeal our medical marijuana program. It's not because the medical card patient people want that. It's not, obviously. We all want our program to be safe, healthy, and everything. But man, I am so disappointed in how this is going right now. And there's a couple of things that I think might be why, and we'll talk about that probably here in the second half, maybe, or maybe I can go through it real quick before we go to break. But we'll touch on it here, okay? The agency has a very high turnover rate. And I'm pretty sure that almost everybody here knows that, okay? Last year or late 2024, sometime 2025, if you guys remember, the OMMA riffed 30 employees. They got rid of 30 people, okay? Didn't need them, cut them, okay? They've restructured. They keep trying to build their airplane in the sky. But man, guys, I'm going to tell y'all, if you build an airplane in the sky, it's going to fucking implode. And that is exactly what is happening to this agency. Okay. We have some key people in this agency that are no longer there now. Okay. Yes, I will get to comments, guys. I promise. Where was I, Charles? I kind of lost that for a second.
Oh, they're building an airplane in the sky.
Yeah, but before that. Oh, the key people. The key people. The key people. I got it. Yes, I did say that, Charles, on there. So the key people. We have the lady who used to be in charge of the government affairs, like basically the liaison person between the agency and the Capitol, and that was Ashley Kroll. She's no longer there. Portia Riley, she was media. She's no longer there. Lee Rhodes, director of the science, no longer there. Okay. Alicia Shaw, director of patient services, the first director of patient services, who was at her position less than 6 months, who I interviewed several months back, which I would highly suggest that you go back and watch that one if you haven't, because that one was pretty eye-opening as well. Okay. And then you've got Marian McNabb, who took that position after her, who she actually hired to be under her. But when she left the agency because of personal differences in how they thought the job was going to be done, then Marian took up that position. If you go to LinkedIn and you go to Marian McNabb's Facebook or to her LinkedIn page, you see that she only had the position for about a month. Okay. We have 2 investigators. Okay. I'm there. Do I say their names, Charles?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna
Okay.
have them on the air real soon to tell you.
Right. There's 2 former investigators with the OMMA. Okay. That these people were either forced out of their position, left, fired, depends on who you ask. Okay. But these 2 people were investigators for the agency and have been able to give some insight behind the scenes as to how investigations work in the agency, how they're handled, how criminal charges are referred or not, and things like that. So those guys were critical people, especially one of them because he wanted people held accountable criminally. And guess what? The agency only wants administrative actions. Wonder why that is. Fines and fees. Don't give a shit about the people that were harmed by the products who, yeah, I'm just not even going to go there. It's our 420 break. Well, our 720 now that I'm on Saturdays. So when we come back, we will talk about those key people. We will talk about their roles in the agency and why I think that some of that obviously has to do with why that the transparency has ended. So, guys, our song today is going to be by Seed Squatch and Muck Sticky, and it's called You Could Change. Hey, Oma, you could change. Take me out, hippie.
But we as individuals can change ourselves, and then when we do that, we encourage others to do the same, and we elevate each other, and we all come together in a bigger way.
Oh yeah, yeah. It seemed I could find a better life tripping on the other side. I've seen a better side so divine, yeah, so divine. And many times I've fallen down the slide just to get up, climb to a different height. All the while, it's all the while. So take it as it goes, cause it's gonna go. Are you gonna stay, live your life, cause you never know where it goes. So where do we go? I'll just keep slipping on the other slide, keep climbing to reach love at different heights. Yet all the while, yeah, it takes some time, it takes some time. Yeah, yeah. You want to hear the sound of walking away, you want to live your life and throw it away. Some say life's a blessing if you were gay, so don't take. It's better when you give love away and don't fade. You want to hear the sound of walking away, you want to live your life and throw it away. Some say life's a blessing if you were gay, so don't take. It's better when you give love away, you could change. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Sticky muck and I came to play. Sing a couple of songs to help brighten your day. Elevate your mind in a different way. Like a ray of sunshine will take away the gray. Maybe we could change up the way we think. Set a new course quick as you blink. On the sea of life, it's either swim or sink. Found the fountain of love and took a big old drink. Now I'm on a mission from the good Lord to make fun songs for when you get bored. If you feel down or you're being ignored, you're thinking you're a loser, well you ain't anymore. Cause you done won a golden ticket, I know you're gonna dig it. If people mistreat you, just tell them where to stick it. Maybe they should jam some old sticky mug. Me and OC Squatch gonna straighten them up, singing.
Sometimes I'm falling in through space, slipping through time and the hands of grace. But you don't know where I'm gonna go, cause I'm a dream in the sunshine over the rainbow. Well, here's a bass line over a tag rhyme, a slight twist on a rhythm played all time. Well, there's nothing stopping you could change, yeah. You can change. Can't you hear this song? It's called your name. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it seemed I could find a better life. Tripping on the other side, I've seen a better side. So divine, yeah. So divine. And many times I'll fall down the slide just to get up, climb to a different height. All the while, it takes some time, it takes some time. Yeah. You want to hear the sound we're talking away. You want to live your life and throw it away. Some say life's a blessing to give you a gift, so don't take. It's better when you give love away and don't fade. You want to hear the sound we're talking away. You want to live your life and throw it away. Some say life's a blessing to give you a gift, so don't take. It's better when you give love away. You could change.
Nugs of many sizes, munchies, trippy friends, and stash jars are some of the gifts you'll find here at LoveNugBuds.com for a unique gift for your 420 friend. Love Nug Buds will have what you want in the end.
Are you searching for affordable products and great rosin? Well, look no further. Whether you're keeping it simple or going all out, we've got you covered. Sunny's for everyday deals, and Hash RX for that premium fire. Sunny's keeps your stash affordable, giving you value every single day. When you want the best, Hash RX. Oklahoma's premium live rosin. No solvents, no shortcuts. Affordable or premium, the choice is yours. Find us at Oklahoma dispensaries.
Welcome to the shop where the colors come alive. Collectors dream and memories shine like fireworks in the sky. Stacked to the ceiling with stories in light. Magic in the air when the toys play at night. Robots spinning, Game Boys flashing, action figures strike a pose. Barbie's got her sunglasses on, G.I. Joe's in hero mode. Arcade lights and vintage chimes, glowing warm and bright. Everybody smiles when the toys play at night. Race cars roaring down the aisle like thunder and chrome. Furby's waking up like they just found home. Every shelf's a treasure map, everything feels right. Step into the wonder when the toys play at night.
For Secret Shopper. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so now I'm back on both screens, and that again was Seed Squatch and Muck Sticky, and that was You Could Change, and we ended it with You Could Change, Oma. You could do better all the way around. So Muck Sticky is actually going to be at Harvest Fest this year, and I'm just going to talk about that real shortly. But he will be there sometime between September 9th and 12th. You'd have to look on their event stuff, but that'll be fun. I actually just played his song, Fuck This Shit, for Charlie the other day. And he was like, okay. I don't know that he's a Muck Sticky fan yet, but I sure am. So what we were talking about before the break, guys, was how or why I think that this government transparency from the OMMA has ended, right? So we were touching off on the key players in the agency who are no longer there. And so when I think about those key players, there was one other I don't think I listed. Hang on. Nope, I did get them all. Okay. So when I think about these key players and what their roles were in the agency, Lee Rhodes was responsible for hitting the little button for the recalls and stuff like that, right? I don't know who technically was responsible for the emails going out, the mass email, but I do think it would have been him or Portia Riley's responsibility if I had to guess. I don't know. With her being media, I'm sure she was probably over the Facebook page and stuff like that as well. So take those things all into consideration, and it makes a perfect sense to me in the timeline of when these people have left, because it's only been in the last 30 days or less that some of these people have left. Most of them, all but one of them, well, no, all but three, sorry, have left. So now we're not getting the communication. We're not getting the information. We are not getting the emails. We are not being told that products that we are consuming are potentially not good to consume. So let's talk about the brands, not brands, because I said that wrong. Let's talk about the companies. I told you guys there is 21 companies. And so when I read through this list, some of you will know, because if you're in Oklahoma, you will know some of these companies and brands. However, this podcast is viewed, by other states as well. So for those people viewing from outside of Oklahoma, understand these are all Oklahoma companies. Okay. So the first one is High Res Labs. That's one of our big labs in the state. Not big, huge, but they're fairly often used. So they've got good clientele there. So next one is Happy Feeling LLC. And I don't remember if this is a processor or a grow. Next one is Red Ox Grow, Big Chief Dispensary. One called TWGDH, which is like Two White Girls Dab Hash or something like that. I don't remember for sure what that one is. Or that's why I was told that one was called. Next is Bud Guys. That's a dispensary. And I do remember particularly on this one, it was that they actually had product that was in pre-packaging, labeled correctly and stuff like that, to best of my knowledge, but it was not in the state's inventory tracking system. And it was a whole ass brand called, I think, OK Farms or something like that. And there was a lot of packages in there that weren't in the state's inventory tracking system. It all had to do with that one company. So that one tied up, if I remember the news release on it, it actually said the processor and the grower on there too. So that one was involving 3 different companies, right? That's kind of crazy. Christopher Donahue was one of them. Red Bud Relief Farms. And I was going to be able to go through these and tell you all the information on them, but since I'm using my phone over there, I can't do that. But the next one's going to be Red Earth Herbals. And then this next one I do know, and it's AAA Cannabis Distribution. AAA Cannabis Distribution is one of those companies that's vertically integrated, meaning that they have a grow, they have a processor, they have a distribution, they have multiple dispensaries, they service for themselves, but they also supply products to many other dispensaries in the state. So that one was for like 3,000 pre-rolls that were outside of the state's inventory tracking system, and something else. And what caught my attention with them is that we actually tested some of their product a while back, and it was those chill stick pre-rolls, right? We found Delta 8 in the chill stick pre-rolls, and you shouldn't have an inversion of Delta 8 into your marijuana, right? For sure. Next one was Purple Ray LLC. And then the next one is Relief Medical Dispensary. And it is not every single Relief, okay? It's the one off of 21st Street in Tulsa. And that one said something to the effect of like not having matching inventory as well, or things that couldn't be reconciled with the inventory system, I believe. The next one is Fritz's Firehouse in Miami. Let me tell you about that guy. Okay. Back when I was in sales, I actually went out there once to go try to make a sale, right? And I called and I spoke to the owner on the phone. Hey, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I'm with. This is what I got. This is how much it is. Are you interested? He's like, yeah, come on out, And I was like, all right. I was like, for this much a pound. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And don't get me wrong. I understand some people are going to try to haggle you. That's okay if you want to haggle me for money. But we got out there, went to the sales call, and he juiced me down on price. He, wants it for like $100 less or whatever. And I go and I call my grower and I'm like, hey, he wants to Jew me. What do you feel comfortable with? Huh?
Don't use that word.
What? Okay. I don't even know what he's talking about. Anyways. Now you interrupted me. I can't remember where I was at.
He was making you take money off.
Yes. Okay. So he was trying to make me take money off the price per pound. And I called her up and I asked her about it. And she was like offended for me because she's like, first off, it was agreed to before you left. You went, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, let me give him a discount of like $50, She's like, whatever you want to do. She's like, you can do it if you want to. She was like, it's up to you. She's like, I don't want you to drive out there, be wasting your time, not make anything off of it. I was like, all right, bet. So I go back and I tell him, hey, this is the deal, and this is what I can do for you. And he's like, how about X dollar amounts? He's like, and a massage. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. Well, I was there with another female. Okay. So then he's offering to give us both massages because we're both decently attractive females at the time. You know what I mean? And he's actually like said that in front of his teen young adult daughter or whatever. And I just really felt offended by that because I was there in a professional capacity and I treated you in a professional manner. And instead you want to get a better price and offer me a massage. Like, no, I never went back. But a couple of guys almost went in there to go sit down and just kind of hang out for a little bit and ask him if he might want a massage. But they decided not to. They were just going to have fun and joke about it. Nothing else was going to happen. All right, let's keep moving on. So the next one was called Harvest Group 168. So when I give you these names, because some of these don't make sense in a way, okay, but it's however they're LLC and they're doing business as information comes back. The names of those. I don't remember exactly what their issue was. The next one is Deal in Greens, and I do believe that one's a dispensary. Not sure what the issue was. Again, I'd have to go back and pull these up, but I encourage you to go to my Facebook page. I've got them all posted on there, okay, with exactly everything on there. The next one was called OG Kush. Let's see. Sherry says, oh, okay, I seen that part. Hang on, guys. Ugh. Oh boy, there is lots of comments on mine. I'm gonna have to get back to those afterwards. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. So OG Kush. The next one is Temple of Kush. And then we've got Jin Shan which is JINSHAN. And so that one was Gentian LLC. Then there was the Fresh Plus. I think that one was a dispensary, if I remember. And then there was Yibo, which is YIBU or Yibu. Anyways, Yibu Green Gardens. And then the last one is C3E Management. So that is literally 21 different companies that administrative action has been taken on their license since January 1st of 2026 till February 10th, because that's when the last one was done, till February 10th. And we, the public, have only been notified of 9 of those. We should all be pissed about that. We should definitely be asking some questions as to what happened to the government transparency here. Okay. And like I said, I'm sure I'm going to get a phone call that somebody's going to tell me how wrong I am and things like that. And yeah, I might be wrong. I don't think I'm very far off. I really don't. What you doing, kiddo? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Kids moving my camera. Oh, you got me way up there.
I'm trying.
I know you are. I don't know why she decided to be a videographer all of a sudden. So, you know, when I was talking about, she's killing me. You should have just left it alone, Elizabeth. You really should have just left it alone. Please. Okay. Sorry, hang on. She's getting it. What I was going to say, though, is like the former employees of the OMMA that I have interviewed before, none of them were able to come on to the show as a guest until after they left their employment with the agency. Okay. And so, you know, when I had Stephanie Davis on a couple weeks back, she had a really great interview. We were on here for an hour and a half. She's someone who was a former employee of the OMMA. She worked in the legal department, and she gave a really great interview of her own personal testimony of what she saw, what she did, and things like that. And I got a phone call after that, that, Jesse was saying that she was, it was a really great interview, but there was a couple things that she didn't have right on there. And he really wanted to be able to set the record straight. Okay. And if you guys don't know who Jesse is, he's with the OMMA, and he's, one of their investigators. And so I actually have asked him to be on the show before. I've asked Lee Rhodes to be on the show. Lee Rhodes wasn't able to do it while being employed at the OMMA, of course. And since Jesse's still at the OMMA, if he were to come and be a guest so that he could set the record straight, then I would have to give pre-approved questions. And I touched on that in the beginning about people that have interviewed the director before and had to do pre-approved questions. I don't mind coming up with questions, in advance, but you should also just be able to have a casual conversation, podcasting or casual interview or, things like that. You should be able to ask things outside of that, because the problem with that is that, you, the people, you want my followers, my viewers, my commenters, things like that, people in this agency, or not the agency, but in the community and in the industry, maybe you had different questions than I did, your feedback's important for that. So we should be able to just ask those things. And so here's my thing to the agency. I don't want your interview. Okay. I don't want your pre-scripted, pre-recorded answers. What is it that you're afraid of to answer questions in real time instead of an expected Q&A response? If you've ever put in a public comment to the public comment period with the OMMA, okay, whenever you do get to see the response, because they say they give a response to every person that comments. But guys, that's not always the case. We've had people that have commented that did not get responses. But if you go and you look at that, the responses that are given are very much so robotic, automatic, scripted responses. They open up that public comment period for us to comment on their proposed rules, not anything else, just those, okay? Only those. Guys, don't have an opinion outside this, please, okay? So anyone that goes on there and gives an opinion that doesn't have to do with the proposed rules, well, then the scripted response is, this doesn't apply to these proposed permanent rules. Thank you for submitting your comment. That is so messed up. That is bullshit. People's real lives, real investments, real emotions, real health, real everything is tied up in their passion, their businesses, their advocacy work, their journey in cannabis, period. And you literally just walk over it like Pam Bondi, okay, in the AG hearings. Like, I can honestly imagine now, I used to want a special session for the director. I wanted her to have to answer questions for accountability, because at that time I was willing to work with her, and it wasn't her that I felt was not doing everything right. You know, she said she's legislatively bound by things like that. Okay, well, let's go to these legislators and let's get these things changed. And how do we do that? We can have her answer the questions for how the program is needing to be improved and how she is not able to do her job the way she needs to because of being legislatively bound. And what would it take to unbind her legislatively so she could do her damn job, right? By telling the legislators what she needs from them in a Senate hearing or something of that nature, that'd be a great way. But anymore, I don't even think that's worth it, because I feel like she would literally react and respond kind of how Pam Bondi has. And I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying, I think the responses would be very short, curt, or they would be, well, what did you expect me to do? Kind of a thing. So, oh, Chris Moe says that this just went south. I'm done. Have a good night. Good night, Chris. Let's see. Next thing I want to talk about with the agency is open records request. I don't know how many of you have, put in an open records request for data. Oh, there we are. Okay. Each request seems to take a little bit longer, or take too long, in my opinion, to return to you. However, what is supposed to happen when you ask for records and you get an incomplete records request? And what I mean by that is that there are two different records requests out of the dozen or so that I've requested that I know for a fact, because I have the documentation, I have the audio recordings of the phone calls, and I have the proof of it, okay, that information is omitted from these records requests. Not redacted, omitted. Just not in there, right? Must have forgot to put that one in there. So what happens when that takes place? How is there some responsibility? Like, what are you supposed to do when a state agency is literally not giving you the data that you asked for, that you yourself have? And yeah, I had to ask for it from them. Yep, I had this one specific phone call that makes it where I know that the information was omitted. So that bugs me. Make sure that when you are doing an open records request, you get your open records request back, check it thoroughly, guys, and make sure that you get everything that you're supposed to get out of it. Wait just 1 second here. The other one was actually an owner requested documents about their own business. And well, actually, that is the one. The owner requested records of their own business, and that conversation was omitted. And then the other one was actually a straw ownership situation where there was an affidavit of lawful presence that wasn't included in the paperwork. And again, I've received those types of documents before with redacted information on them. No big deal, right? No biggie. But whenever you just choose not to put some of the stuff in here, or it got conveniently left out, I'm not going to say it was intentional, so that bothers me as well. Let's see, what time is it? 7:49. So we've got a couple more minutes here. I am going to see if I can get to some of the comments and questions before I kind of drop the last couple of things here. Let's see. Cannabis hyperemesis. Let me touch on that real quick. Cannabis hyperemesis. It shouldn't be cannabis hyperemesis. It should be toxic cannabis syndrome. And the reason why is because it's not about the cannabis plant, the marijuana, the potency of it, any of those things that are causing cannabinoid hyperemesis, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not a medical doctor. Opinions are like assholes. You don't like mine, that's okay. Don't listen to it, please. Howard Stern had lots of haters. But whenever the plants are there's pesticides being used, there's fungicides, insecticides, and all of these things. It is not the DNA and the genetics of the plant. It's the pesticides, the chemicals, and things like that that are being left at levels. Oh, it's okay. She's okay. Oh. So that is important because I've seen a lot of stuff coming up in the media about CHS, about scromiting and all those types of things. And I think the doctors need to be going just a little bit further outside their box. They want to blame the marijuana for it, right? But they need to look a little bit further. It's not the plant itself. It's the ability to bioaccumulate and draw all of these impurities out of the soil, out of the water, up into the plant. And that's what they need to be looking at is, toxic chemical type stuff. Permethrins or permethrins, whatever you call it. That's no joke. You don't want to be smoking on that stuff, right? So that's a shift out of the agency change, conversation there, because I think I'm done with that one. Hope I don't annihilate too many of my friends and followers on my agency comments and things about Bondi and all those other things. But it's just, again, it's my opinion. I compared the two because of the way the interview style has been. So last thing that I kind of want to bring in, second to last thing. Facebook status, like views wise. Guys, I've had about 15,000 views on my Facebook page today from the information that I posted. And literally, if I had $1 for every view, hell, if I had 50 cents for every view, if I had $0.25 for every view, it would be enough to get me down to the Capitol to try to help change some of the ways that OMA is doing things and help to fix the problems. Patients for Safe Access, all we've ever wanted to do was help. People in this industry thought we were after them. They thought we were, I'm a bitch, I'm a snitch, I'm gonna be handled, I'm this, that, the third, I've come home to my gas on in my house, all kinds of great fun stuff, right? But ultimately and really, I wanted the bad actors out of this space. I wanted the people that were doing it wrong out of this space. They have no room in this space. It's a medical program. We have medical marijuana, not free for all, go buy black market crap and $25 pounds that you have no idea what's been done with it, and you're not going to test it, and you're going to slide it in a Mickey metric and have positive metric transactions and things like that. You're putting people at harm's way. Those are the people I wanted out of here. They didn't need to be here. They were harming us. So with that being said, I hope the industry understands, that is where that came from. We have always been about trying to protect the medicine, protect the plant, protect our rights to the plant, and protect our access to the plant, but to ensure that it was safe at all times in final form. We need help to be able to do that, though. I haven't raised a single dollar in the month of January, the year of 2026 so far. Granted, yes, we're only 6 weeks in, I get that. But hello, how many people want to keep going with no resources to keep going with? I haven't been down to the Capitol in months. I wasn't able to go for the rally. I wasn't able to go for EAC. I wasn't able to go for public comment, some of those being because I was sick and some because I just don't have the resources anymore. I have nothing left to put into this. And it's obvious to me when I've got 500,000 views in 3 months' time on Facebook alone that you guys are wanting to hear what I have to say. You're watching what I'm posting. You're engaging with it. You're commenting with it. It obviously interests a lot of people, right? So if y'all want me to fight for a change for you, for us, help me do that. Because if I don't get some help doing it, I just won't be able to. Period. And I want to fight for y'all. I want to fight for me. I want to fight for him and we and us and everybody. The OGs, the new Gs, the whole 9 yards. And Debbie, I know you don't got nothing either. We've got advocates in this industry who are currently without transportation even because they've put everything into it. So guys, help us all out, help us all out. Pick somebody to support and support them if you can, that's really important. It is very important. The good farms are just hoping to make it out alive. So that was John Berta on the Facebook side over there. And he's a grower here in Oklahoma Night Craft, I think is the name of his company, or Craft Nights, Oklahoma Craft Nights, something like that. Anyways, good grower, and he's saying that the good farms are just hoping to hold on long enough to stay alive. And that's not the way this business was. It's like 788, the dream wasn't for businesses to struggle. And we shouldn't be struggling. We got over 300,000 patients, guys. But the reason why we're struggling is because they keep trying to change our regulations, change our program, because they don't want it to succeed. They don't want it. And when I say they, I mean the Capitol. And not everybody in the Capitol, but the governor, the AG, Kyle Hilbert, there's a lot of them up there in that building that do not want cannabis and they want to try to take it away from us. When I was talking about open records requests earlier, it reminded me when I did one open records request, it was for Graves Farms and it was for all failed tests that had been sent to the agency by the labs in I did it from the inception of the program to July of 2024 was the date for the request when I did it. I think I got that request fulfilled to me about a year later. And there was 167 documents in that request that meant specifically they had known that company had at least 167 fails in that amount of time, but was still up and running and operational and harming patients and consumers to that day. Okay. But in those documents, there was one category that broke my heart and made me want to fight like a son of a bitch. And that was the RSO. That RSO, there was a specific batch that had an R&D, stuff like that. And the R&D, the number, it had failed for pesticides. The RSO had failed for pesticides. And the number was so high. What was it, Charlie? Like a 50 point something?
56 point something.
Yeah. Like,
For cancer patients, for veterans, for...
Right. I mean, RSO is meant for cancer patients, like he's talking about. We have people with chronic pain that take that, people that have mental health illnesses that take it. You have all kinds of patients that consume RSO and stuff like that who were consuming a trusted brand. And so after we had got that open records request, that document, and we found it, I found 3 grams of their RSO available for purchase at a location in the OKC area. And they didn't know the bad stuff, you know what I mean, about the company and stuff. So I'll fault them for having it. And I'm actually glad they did, because I bought the last 3 grams they did, and I took that shit straight to the lab. Because, okay, if this over here in your R&D had so much pesticide fail, then I wanted to know, did you use enough dilution for it to be the solution? Or are you still just a part of the damn problem? Those 3 grams, all 3 failed. Not miserably, like the R&D did, but they still failed, and they were purchased off the retail shelf of the dispensary and provided to cancer patients. Why? Why does it ever get that far? Because the agency isn't doing their job correctly. They're more interested in administrative actions, fining you out of a license that you'll then just surrender, okay? A fine you can't afford to pay. Hell, Grace Farms' case is finished now, guys. It took 2 years or longer to get done, but it's finished. They were fined $133 million. But the state of Oklahoma, because of the fact that they want it to be administrative action only, okay? They want to fine them and get them out of here, right? They can't be a bad actor in our state no more. But because there's never any criminal charges when someone does things so wrong, does so many things wrong, that you can have to be fined $133 million, and you're telling me it's not criminal? Are you for real? Are you really for real?
That was only a 4-month look into their operation.
The agency needs to change their priority. It's not about the dollars. You get enough of them as it is, somewhere around 32, 37 million a year for your agency. Okay. You've got enough. You don't even provide a victims impact fund when people are harmed because of the program that you're supposed to be in charge of. and you're supposed to be looking out for the patients. We're the reason you have a fucking job. It's heartbreaking, guys. We need changes. We don't need to repeal the program. Don't need to repeal the program at all. We don't need to send it back to the ballot or anything like that. You know, it would cost them a lot of money to take this program from us. It really would. From my understanding, they would have to pay a taker's fee, basically. What they take from you, probably pennies on the dollar, maybe 20 cents on the dollar. You know, take the assets from us at their cost. So anyways, guys, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a pain in the ass. My name's Summer Parker, Patients for Safe Access. Love me or like me, or you can hate me. I don't really care. I love my followers, supporters, commenters. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe over here on WTHC Radio, the Hippie Broadcasting Network, as well as on my page on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, again at DabbingNana78. And if you want to talk about your experiences in the cannabis industry in Oklahoma or elsewhere, hit me up. I'd love to have you as a guest on my show, especially right now. We need to be telling them our stories of how it has helped us. Now, today I've told you a lot of bad stuff, okay? And Skunky, I apologize. No, this isn't to fearmonger or scare people. This is awareness of the issues that we need to fix. So, guys, let's see here. Hippie, you want to throw a couple of the comments up there and see if there's any of them that I need to go addressing. Thank you guys on Facebook so much. Debbie, she says, I will sue the shit out of the state as a patient. I agree. Maybe that's what it needs to take. I know there's been lawsuits before where the businesses have tried to get it together and sue the state. But what if the patients did? Wouldn't that be awesome? Because I am so down for that. So if you've got an attorney that's interested in talking to a bunch of us, I promise you I can get some patients in a room for a meeting for that one. Let's see here. All right, government control system rigged. Emancipated yourselves from mental slavery. The government wants us to be in slavery. We work and pay taxes on everything. Yeah, we sure do. If you sent stars to me over on Facebook, thank you for the stars. I appreciate that. Weed is everywhere up here. Steve said, shatter, hash, etc. Good deal. We actually have a very open free market in Oklahoma in regards to, we don't have a lot of restrictions on what can be made or how high of a dose and stuff. So yeah, we're pretty lucky in that part. If we cannot, oh, hang on, go back to that one. If we cannot fight for change in Oklahoma, we will move to another state that welcomes our ideas, and then Oklahoma can copy and paste. So Charles is saying that over on the YouTube side, and he's 100% right. You know, we've made a go of Patients for Safe Access for about 2 years now. We've built a great network of people, team, you know, involved in our journey with this. But Oklahoma, I think we're just ahead of our time here for Oklahoma. Kind of like other programs that have come before this, that have tried, who have come before their time, who are in the process of moving to other states. And so, you know, I mean, I've had other states talk to me about Patients for Safe Access and how I do it, why I do it. I won't give away the secret sauce and how I built it, but, you know, I don't mind sharing the idea and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's other states that we could go to with this program, with this idea, and implement it and make it successful and get it funded even, okay? But I wanted to do it here because Oklahoma is my home. I'm a bred and born, guys. I'm a bred and born Okie. And I love Oklahoma. My family is here. My friends are here. Everything in my life is here. My grandbabies, everything. And I wanted to build something great here. And I know we've done a lot of great things, and we've made some changes, and we've made some improvements, you know, like my team is amazing. We've done great things, but have we been able to accomplish it in a way that it will stand on its own here? No. If I shut down patients for safe access tomorrow, is somebody else going to step up and start testing? Is somebody else going to like put this together and fight for our access to safe, clean medical cannabis in final form at all times? Like, sure, maybe. Like, and I'm not saying that I'm Wonder Woman or something, because I'm sure as hell not. You know what I mean? But I'm proud of what I've built. I'm proud of what I've done. But without resources and a way to continue on, we might not have a choice but to look at other states if offered an opportunity to be able to be funded to start the program there. So just leaving you with that thought, guys. So much love, one love, and I will try my best to go back, especially on the Facebook side, and reply to comments. And everybody over here on the YouTube side, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you guys later.
Summer Parker leading the way, shining bright like the healing rays. 420 patients, we stand as one. Safe access for everyone. Oh, we rise up, lifted higher.